The new market is your Vivos and your Polo clients.
Okay.
Students.
Students.
Golfs. Hence the video.
Yeah, the video and hence the outrage.
You will be
guys.
surprised who buys golfs, eh?
That's- you know
It's not just students, eh?
Right?
But
It's not.
Hey,
you know,
anyway.
You drive a golf, don't
No,
you?
no, no, no.
Exactly.
I don't drive a golf.
That's why he's in his feelings. Funny you mentioned that because it's almost like a rite of passage that your first job, first paycheck, the people want to get like a golf.
You wanna, yeah.
Exactly, because I think
But it
that's
speaks to affordability, right?
I was coming to
and
that.
and
Oh,
also
yeah.
the fact that the car is actually durable for the most part.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I wanted to ask you, do you find ladies also buying it? Because we always see like Polo Golf as such a guy car.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 26 of the Business Agenda podcast. My name is Cash, also known as the Joburg Bachelor. For first-time viewers and listeners, this podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Nico, also known as Nick Swagger, representing Kaiser Chiefs. On soundboard today, we've got Vino_T,
I'm a Kosi.
classic Man City jersey.
Yes, the economy is up. Chiefs is winning.
We thank the GNU, man.
Come
We
on.
thank the GNU. We thank the GNU.
You already know, top of the table.
We were at some point. We were at some point.
After one fixture.
Hopefully after today we will be as well.
Yeah, so the GNU, the economy, the repo rates, two-pot systems, a lot happening that's moving positively for Kaiser Chiefs. Thank you also to the team behind the scenes that makes everything happen, the good man, our co-producer man behind the visuals, Tsepo. If you want to see who he is, go on to social media and just look up who is Tsepo. And thank you also to Maiza Etumeleng Mojake, in absentia, love and light to you wherever you are. And last but certainly not least, thank you to everyone who watches the show, shares it within their circles. We do not take your views for granted. We always appreciate the fact that you lend us our ears and you appreciate our comments. As always, we are here at our lovely home in Hatfield VW Melrose Arc. I like putting the extra woolly sauce when I pronounce the location. Know that we're doing premium things at a premium dealership.
Yeah.
And we are joined by someone who recently bought a Golf R for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And
Levels.
and the social media streets were up in arms. The lady I'm referring to is none other but Mo. Mo is the lady behind what happens with not only this show but my show Convos with Uncle Cash. Thank you to her for joining us. And she's got a sporty that some of us are dying to have. We wish we had. So you can see VW, they don't only sell quality vehicles, they've got quality merch. They know their brand, they know their customers, they know what you guys like to wear. So Mo, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, finally.
Yeah, finally. Thank you for that. Finally, we've been trying to get Mo on our show. She's always here in the scenes, in the background, but we finally got her to sit down with us. So she's just going to join us on today's episode. Nico was overseas. A lot's happened since the last episode. Our last episode was focused primarily vehicle sales, car sales, and so we just thought obviously do another one here at VW. And who better than to join us than AKA More Money, More Problems, as I like to call her. She didn't bring my little friend or daughter, so a little bit sad.
He's missing in action.
Yeah, missing in action. Mommy didn't want the admin. She's like, no, I'm going to work. Yeah, but so I think to get straight into it more, I think maybe high level. How's things going for you guys? We're approaching third quarter of the year. Just not only maybe VW. Let's start with car sales in general. How the market is at the moment.
We're getting there. We are getting there. We've actually just launched, not launched, but we've
brought in, yes.
like 4 vehicles. It's actually like facelifts. So we've got now the new Vivo, which is Vivo's. It's always been doing well. So now we've brought.
That's
in
the one
new
behind you, right?
It's literally this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got the old shape,
the previous
and
one,
then
the previous and
the
the new
current one. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the T-Cross, we've got the Tiguan, and we've got the Touareg.
The T-Cross seems to be doing well, just based from, I'm keen on cars, so from what I'm seeing, just visibility on the roads and also just car sales as well. I mean, it's a catch-22 because whenever I see some of these articles about cars, there'll be a lot about the Chinese brands, how they're eating into the market, but also established brands like VW who, with certain vehicles, are still getting a new customers based on customer loyalty. So seeing a lot of the T-Cross, so that kind of does make sense. What do you think the rest of the year probably looks like for VW leading up to end of the year, people getting bonuses? Do you guys normally get a boost in sales around that time of the year?
A little bit. Funny enough, our clientele is like people that just started working.
Okay.
Then they'll go for your Vivos. Then they'll go for your Polos. But the old people have always bought like the Tiguan.
Okay.
So it's just always repeat clients. So they'll go from Tiguan to Tiguan to Tiguan. Yeah. Okay. Touareg to Touareg to Touareg. So it's always the same clientele. Yeah. The new market is your Vivos and your Polo clients.
Okay.
Students.
Students.
Golfs. Hence the video.
Yeah, the video and hence the outrage.
You will be surprised who buys golfs, eh?
It's
not just students, eh?
Right?
But
it's not.
Hey, anyway.
You drive a golf, don't
No.
I don't drive a golf. That's why he's in his feelings. Funny you mentioned that because it's almost like a rite of passage that your first job, first paycheck, the people want to get like a golf. Exactly, because I think.
But it speaks to affordability, right?
I was coming to that.
And also the fact that the car is actually durable for the most part. What's interesting is I wanted to ask you: do you find ladies also buying it? Because we always see like Polo Golf as such a guy car.
Yeah, it's so with the video.
Or are the ladies buying the cars for the guys?
It's alright.
So with the video I was telling you guys about earlier, the chicks are going at me. Why is it a guy car? Why is it not a girl car? It's the weirdest thing. I'm like, yo, no, calm down.
It's just
so there's a stereotype.
Yeah. There is a stereotype.
Oh, okay.
But there is a stereotype.
But if you look at the history of VW, like the very first Golf GTI, I'm talking about like in the 80s, it was two-door, and just the history that came from that, it became like a guy's car.
Yeah.
Because VW, I'm now showing how much of my petrol head, they really launched the hatchback category. All the other brands followed. I'm not just saying that because we were here. I'm talking like the first two-door one, the stitching with the seats, 5-speed manual. So that became a guy. In fact, what they call the hot hatch, VW started that.
Yeah.
So it's always been with every edition, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to Golf 7, 8. That's how that whole. It's a guy car.
It's a guy car thing.
But the funny things you see even in cars, I know the rental companies, you see a lot of women driving Polos. But social media,
social media.
The reactions are always over the top.
Social media.
Because I'm assuming what would, for them, you should have asked them what quantifies a female car.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know, as we're speaking about the third quarter, economic-wise, am I crazy, or there's like a good feeling just around the sentiment in the country in general now at the moment, especially post-elections, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like things are working, right?
They are working.
The rand is, I think besides the rand sentiment, that there is definitely a feel-good factor in there, because in many different sectors, be it economy, finance, property, some of the stuff we dabble in outside the podcast, there was a time people were it was not gloomy, but you're not sure how the GNU was going to take off and what it means, trickle-down effect for the economy. But I think lately, since the Fed announcement, some people getting access to money, there is just that general feel-good feeling. Because round about this time of the year, most people are now thinking, have we reached the year, what we wanted for the year, be it individual, be it corporates. And now, so there is almost a bit of a lift. So I'd like to thank the good people who pull the levers at the highest level.
Yeah.
The interest. Yeah, I was gonna mention the interest rate component. I think, especially for you, it's gonna probably benefit you guys quite a lot.
Now installments are gonna go down.
Yeah.
And I believe it's also going to drop a bit later on again in the year.
There is a chance of that.
It really helps.
Yeah. And
every drop.
So going forward, you will see a bit of more customers probably coming in towards the end of the year, help by that, because obviously money saved from a bond, for example, and your other car could allow you to buy a second car or officially afford to come and upgrade whatever that you've been driving over the last while. Right?
And with the whole interest rate thing, because now as much as the interest rate dropped, people are still not conducting the credit well, which is so sad, because we get quite a couple of declines because of credit conduct.
Okay.
So it's
we don't talk about credit conduct a lot, hey? The importance of credit conduct, because a lot of people, especially guys who, if maybe you're going to lose your job or you have a 6 months contract or whatever, what they tend to do is they tend to get a lot of credit in that period of time. And then what then happens is that they don't care. Like, they just don't care. They like, at least I've acquired XYZ, even though I won't be able to afford to pay it going forward. And then, you just get a permanent job after that. Now you have this a stain on your record. So,
but do you guys like understand, or it's a straight decline? If someone say there's an account, or do you get to say, let me pay it and settle it, and then maybe you guys will look at it? Or?
So here's the thing, right? Because I get clients that will say, no, I paid my account last month and then I want a car. You have to build your credit. Because now the bank must see that for the next 3 or 4 months, sometimes it takes a year, they need to see that you will be able to pay. So even if you take like something as little as a credit card and then pay it consistently, make sure you pay.
What's the highest interest rate you've ever seen?
22. And that's
crazy
high.
though. That's like unsecured.
That's like, I don't really want to give you this loan, but if you insist.
But then that's the thing. Once it's at 22, it's definitely a decline.
Oh, okay.
It's too high.
Yeah.
The risk is
too high.
The risk is just
the
too high.
bank is like, no.
Can
But if it does approve, it will be probably like your 17s, then it will approve. But only one bank, and even the bank will be like, this person of yours is high risk.
Can I put you under spotlight?
Yeah.
That in social media, we've always seen when people say black people get high interest rates. Do you guys see that? Or this
No
is
comment.
A stick?
No comment.
I can't confirm or deny.
I can't confirm or deny those allegations.
I cannot.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So with even your job, is it occupation?
Yeah.
With your occupation, it helps with the interest rate.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it does. Your lawyers and your doctors,
Chartered accountants.
your chartered accountants, your interest rate will be better than your normal.
Between doctors and chartered accountants, who gets a better interest rate?
Well, you can't ask me that. I don't know.
Don't like doctors.
Hey, Nico,
You don't like doctors.
we
My
must tell the
sister's a
people
doctor.
that CAs don't mean candidate attorneys.
Exactly. Can they stop claiming that job title? CS chartered accountant. I see a lot of that in the recruitment space. Like, no, we're looking for a chartered accountant. You're a candidate attorney. Please find another abbreviation for your profession. That one's already well taken.
Hey man, you're making jokes about lawyers. Gonna get sued. We don't have a lawyer on the podcast.
I've got friends who are advocates. I'm sure I'll be fine. But I think the other thing I am seeing, just in terms of the general feel-good factor around the interest rate, is I think it's good also just to share some insights just in terms of, like you're saying, with how you manage your credit. Because I know for those who are self-employed, that's also like in terms of getting financing, it's slightly different. And a big part of South Africa's economy are people who, whether they're consultants, run their own businesses, going concerns, informal sector. At some point, obviously, you also need access to credit. And it's always good. I think it's always good to look into how you can keep your credit records. Because I'm speaking from personal experience where if you're self-employed through my accountant, the banks are a bit different in terms of proving, like in terms of your income, especially if you've got multiple sources of income. And it's across the board. I mean, I consult for many clients, but someone who has many spaza shops, they don't have a pay slip.
Yeah, they don't.
And then now for the process of the bank statements, there's a bit more scrutiny. But the point I'm highlighting is that don't close the door to the fact that you still have access. It's just knowing what requirements you need or what the banks, what the financiers want. And with each like car manufacturer, they'll tell you, look, through our vehicle finance, if you have your own income, this is what you need. But just to be open to that idea that, look, it's not purely for people who
that are working.
Some people don't even think they can afford stuff on credit.
If you're self-employed, they'll generally ask for like 6 bank statements. Because the bank wants to see
the
that
patterns, yes.
There's money coming in. Because it's pointless for you to say, no, I've got a taxi, but there's no money going in. So you have to
paper trail
to say,
for 6 months,
this person will be able to pay for the car.
Yeah, because 6 months plus, normally like with my experience in microfinance, that's always it's a good time range to see a pattern. Like you're saying, if someone comes to you and says, I've paid off my account last month, like that's all well and good, but we
want to see
how you're going to pay going forward. Exactly.
Yeah, but the sentiment is also quite good in a sense that usually with the financial institutions, when interest rates go down, the sentiment helps. Like I think with people that are self-employed, or if let's say if your affordability was just on the edge, you know what I mean? When interest rates are going up, they worry that there's probably going to be another 25 basis points, so it's gonna make you fall over the cliff. Whereas when they are going down, if they approve you at the edge, but we know that in November it's going to go down, it means you're probably going to have more affordability. You know what I mean?
It creates a buffer.
So the sentiment is good in that sense that even a deal that would not be approved in this climate, it will get approved. Whereas when interest rates are going up, is a deal that's on the edge won't get approved. You know what I mean? So I think the sentiment helps in that sense as well, that the cost of credit and the ability to do business is quite good. What I've seen at work is even from a property perspective, the developers get more confident. Okay, fine, let's build more complexes, let's build more houses, because then the first time buyers, we're going to start those picking up again. You'll also start seeing more investors saying, okay, let me buy apartments, because if interest rates go down, even if it's by 50 basis points, it then says, okay, then your investment can pay for itself because you're already locked in your rental income from your tenants. You know what I mean? So your costs are pretty much basic, and that the investors getting all the benefit of the credit going down because you won't reduce your rent. You know what I mean? So the sentiment gets better, and then people buy more, investments get more, cars, blah, blah, blah. So then you start to see more of that, and then that just trickles more money into the economy.
Yeah, I think, and for me with vehicles in general, because I think, not making a racist, but it is a race issue. It's different. You see, there's idiosyncrasies between each racial group, and I think for us black people, a car is it's a huge status symbol.
Yeah,
it really is. So and what I was just touching on with that is when people make car decisions, good or bad, like the premise is the look you get, the status, family, where you live, the car. Not to say we don't prioritize other things, but how much in your experience influences that kind of car someone gets? Where am I gonna push and maybe have a higher premium and get the Vivo GT or just the Polo Vivo? Do you see a lot of that?
So with the inquiries that we get, someone will inquire on a Polo TSI, for example, and the bank will say no.
I'll hold it up.
I'll hold it up.
I'll hold it up for fun.
Yeah, you need a trend line.
You have a trend line. So sometimes it's not even about the client. It's what you want that you came for. It's what you can actually afford. Because the bank will look at, okay, you are earning 10,000, for example. After paying for all your expenses, your rent, your electricity, your school fees, whatever, are you going to be able to pay for that Vivo?
Exactly.
And there's still insurance as well, right?
There's still insurance, because it's not just the car. It's the car, it's the insurance, it's tracker, it's petrol.
Yeah.
So it's not just, so people look at, it's just the car. It's not just the car.
But you know what I want to ask you? I want to ask you on trade-ins, right? It's so confusing. Why do you guys want to know how much is still outstanding on the car that I want to come and trade in?
What a great question.
So
why can't I park my car, you give me the value, book value or whatever, then?
So there's, when you trade in a car, right, there's a settlement, and then there's what you get for the car.
Yes.
And then there's a shortfall.
Yes.
So you can't just leave your car and leave. What's gonna happen to the shortfall?
No.
It just can't hang.
But if you, I'll tell you about shortfalls and whatever later. I want the value because well, not VW. I've never traded a car in here. But
yet,
yeah. But you know, you get salespeople who say, "Tell me how much is still outstanding before I give you a value." Why? Because I don't see how those two things link related with each other. Because I can tell you the value afterwards, after you tell me. Because the reason I'm asking this is because then it brings a sense of, oh, you owe 200K. I'll trade your car in for 201,000.
Oh no!
You know what I'm saying? Like
it does.
You know,
because even
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you with me, right? Now, the reason why I ask is because I'll ask before I get the trade-in price of your vehicle.
Okay.
So by the time I get in the price of the car, I already know how much is outstanding. Then you can work out the shortfall of the car.
So you're saying it has nothing to do with...
If there is a shortfall,
you're not going to get a value based on how much
you know.
No, but there isn't always a shortfall.
Not always, because some people pay their cars very well, some don't.
Yes.
So, but in most cases, there's always a shortfall, unless if you had your car for very long.
Yeah.
I had a guy a couple of days ago, bought a car from me in 2021. His settlement is about 300 and something. and what they're giving him for the car is. So I don't know what happened in between. Doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we ask him, how much are you still owing for your car? And then we can get how much he's getting from us and then work out from there.
But do you give him a fair value?
Yeah.
Like most times?
Yeah.
Or you try to get close to the settlement?
Mara, customers always think that we are out to get them. No, guys. Because they look at the state of your vehicle, they look at your mileage. Because your average mileage is 15,000 kilometers per year or annually. So they look at your
Is
mileage.
it not 20?
No, it's 15.
So why do some cars then service at 20,000 Ks a year?
We don't do that here. We don't do that. The other cars don't matter. Yeah, we use 15,000.
Yeah, staunch
Yeah, we do 15,000.
They look at the state of the car, they look at
condition,
your mileage, your condition, and all of those things. Service. If they'll ask you, do you service with the Asians? If you don't, then
that's another flag.
If you're servicing Ko Prajon somewhere, it's a problem.
Yeah,
it's gonna affect how much you get for your vehicle.
We can't verify if it's been done properly.
I'm gonna ask you a question on the service part after. I feel like you've answered me to my satisfaction level on this question. Yeah. So and then do you guys have some sort of method or calculator you use to get to the value that you're gonna take the car in?
Yeah.
With a thought in mind of how much you're gonna sell the car for afterwards, right?
There's a what's that app called? There's an app.
Okay, yeah, a system you use
there's a system we use. Yeah.
Okay.
They'll load the model car, the color, the mileage, all of that, and then that system will then give you trade and retail.
Okay. And are you guys price negotiators?
Salespeople.
No, as in
As a dealership.
as a dealership, you selling me 500,000 rand Polo, and I'm like, I'll give you guys 480. Are you guys open to such conversations?
Yeah, the sales agent.
Oh, you don't want to say it, eh? Guys, they are. So
No comment.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
you get like negotiating people generally, and then
case by case.
I just don't wanna. I want to say, look, I really like the car. I wanna take it.
The best way to do it, Nico, is she won't decrease from 500, but she can give you extra. Like,
I'll give you
free extras.
She'll throw in
throw
extras.
in new tires.
Exactly.
or a service
And a
plan.
sunroof.
Service plan, maintenance plan, yeah.
Okay.
Would love a sunroof as an extra, but
So tell me more. I've heard that, and probably you guys sell more new cars than second-hand cars. But out of interest, I've heard sometimes dealerships buy cars from We Buy Cars. Is that true?
Oh no. Yeah. I can't talk about V5 cars.
No, let's talk about that.
No.
I have views. I don't like those
No,
guys.
we don't, because so with dealerships, right? Why it's always best to buy a car from a dealership? We do quality check.
Yeah.
They do 80-point check. They'll valet the vehicle.
top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Yeah, because I'm glad you brought up that
So
point.
the Decra thing is.
I was coming to exactly that, because what people don't realize with that. I'm gonna say this from what I know. Nico sharing information.
Yeah, you guys will share the information.
So that's not true. There's different. What people don't understand about We Buy Cars in other place. Not to throw them on the bus. There's different levels to the Decra report. And for most cars, they do like an entry-level face value one.
Yeah.
If you want the in-depth one where they give you like the 80-point check, nuts and bolts, that one
You have
costs
to pay for
more, and that's
yourself.
not the standard one. So I think the misconception with most people in other dealerships, when they hear that there's a Decra report, they think it's the whole enchilada, which it's really not. Because remember, they're a big business. If they do the in-depth one, it'll become costly for them. So basically, and it even states on that Decra report that, look, it's got disclaimers in terms of, and also you have to understand the used car market. I can't stress this enough. It's Voetstoots, as is. Same
Voetstoots.
Yeah, Voetstoots. Yeah, my bad. The British came out of me. It's Voetstoots.
They say if you want to know your VIN number off by heart, you must go buy a car at We Buy Cars. If you want to know the guys at Goldwagen and all those parts places, you must buy a car there. And I'm saying this unapologetically because I'm a customer of We Buy Cars and I have a bad experience with We Buy Cars.
Yeah, because our good friend here is in the car rental space, so buys and sells a lot of vehicles. But that's the one thing to know. But I think in conversations you hear from people in terms of the decision to buy, do I go used car, do I go auction, do I go new? I think the general thing in my opinion is there's different experiences to people, and I can always say just do your research, do in-depth research. Look at your pocket, look at your record, look at what you need ultimately. What kind of vehicle you're looking for? What are your finances, and then long term, and then a car is not like. If you're diligent enough, treat a car purchase the same way you would a property purchase.
Yeah.
Take your time, do your research. I've walked this journey before where, without mentioning names of certain auction houses that are close to here, just by Marlborough, we've been there before where people go on auction day and try to buy a car. But what some people also know that most auction houses, they have a day before, like on a Wednesday. If the auction's on a Saturday, Wednesday's an open day. You can come and see the stock, see the views.
Yeah.
Speak to the dealers, ask the questions. And the same thing if you're buying a brand new car, come see more. Have your questions prepped. I saw your dealership website. This is what I'm looking for. And also be open to suggestions.
Yeah.
Like, as much as you want the Polo GTI for just your ego, for the look, or to flex for guys back in Kasi, if someone says you based on why you want to buy a car, your budget, a trend line might be the better option.
Yeah, I mean, affordability is affordability at the end of the day. Out of interest as well, I've always wanted to ask, how come some people get like, or maybe do they bring their own champagne? You know, when people buy new cars and then you see like Vev, and then other people you just see flowers. Is that being done by the dealership or like? Because I've often wondered, and then some people get like, bags.
The smoke machine.
You know what I mean? Or do they buy those things, or are they free?
Okay, some people will bring their own, but we have our gifts from the dealership. But not, if you must actually check a look at my social media. I'm big on gifts. I love deliveries with all of my heart.
So you
I'll
get
go big. I'll go get flowers. I'll get champagne. Non-alcoholic.
Yes.
We don't promote drinking.
Yes. VW is a very responsible brand.
I bought a Polo Vivo.
Yeah.
From Hatfield VW, not this one.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
The one in Victoria, yeah.
The other one on the other street.
Yeah.
The reception I got versus when I bought my car now was not the same. Man.
Really?
You guys have levels in terms of, are you buying a Vivo versus a bigger, nicer car or something like that?
Buying a car doesn't matter whether you're buying a Polo or a Golf or a T-Cross.
You guys give the same service, right?
You have to give the same treatment because the person that's buying a Vivo, that is a huge purchase to that person.
them, yeah, true.
So it doesn't mean now because he's buying a Vivo,
you
must give him less of a service. So I still go big with my Vivos. I get you balloons and flowers and make it a nice delivery because I don't know how long you're going to keep the car for. You might keep it for,
and it's a memory.
Yeah, it's
make
every
it
day.
Make it an experience.
I deliver every day. I'm used to it by now. I deliver every day, but the person I'm selling to is his first car or her first car, so I have to make it.
I think that's one thing VW got right. I don't know, maybe it was in the long-term planning, but you guys really locked down like the first-time buyer of a car. And for people who, status symbol aside, it's just, I'm really into cars. It's a joyous occasion, the first time you have your own car.
Yeah.
Because I remember the excitement, the first car I bought, different brand, but the owner had a champagne at her house, made it a thing. And I remember this whole thing of, wow, nothing wrong with taxis or public transport, I'm not throwing shade, but just that, it's the flexibility, it's the ownership. I'm sending pictures to my mom. It's the excitement of the first trip back home to share with with family. So it is good that this dealership.
No, we go big.
Yeah.
We come out. We clap. We play music.
There's a smoke machine. These guys have a smoke. There's a smoke machine, guys. Yeah, the last time we were here.
Got a bell. Got that Titanic bell. It's really Titanic. So we love it.
Yeah. So okay. Before I forget, now I wanted to ask you a question on the service part because a lot of people are quite confused in terms of service, and I know, like for example, VW doesn't use service books anymore and stuff like that. So what happens if I'm not asking for myself? What happens if you go service at an approved dealer, and then so who stamps the book? How will VW know? And all of those things.
So we've decided to go green. So we don't
save the planet.
Yeah, we're saving the planet. Everything is electronic now.
Okay.
Everything is online. There's no stamping. So you bring the vehicle, they will put the records on.
Oh, you bring like the receipts, proof, and
on
stuff.
your VIN number.
There's no paper.
There's no receipts.
There's no receipts, but your vehicle will be serviced. There's a system we use called iPartner.
Yeah, but
so
if you did
your car, it'll pick up everything
VIN
that you've
number.
ever done with your car.
Okay,
so whether
so-
it was a service or oil change
Yeah.
or whatever, it will pick up on the system.
But whether I did it at VW or not.
Only at VW.
So what happens if I did it somewhere else? How will
I
you
will
know?
pick up.
How will you get service history, as they call it?
Oh no, then you skip it.
It
'Cause remember,
recognizes a
hence when you
skip.
trade in, they'll ask you,
Do you have service
do
history?
you have a service history with agents?
Yeah, but generally you would get stems from agents outside of. So the new rule is that obviously you don't lose your warranty as long as it's approved, blah blah blah, approved dealers or agents, right? Some agents are not VW, but then they're approved to service a VW car.
Okay. So your question then becomes...
So I mean, the reality is, if it's an approved agent, they should
have
get
access to
access to the
Some
system.
system
If it is
not
approved.
to
If they're
that
approved.
system, not some system.
No,
right?
no, no.
Yeah, you guys are only using your
to the
Yeah, we're
system.
only using our
So that VW can still pick up that you serviced it somewhere else, but it's still on there.
if
Okay.
If they
it
have
is
access.
approved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
if they've
Yeah.
got access.
Yeah, the reality is that like VW will want VW approved service.
Yeah.
BMW will want BMW approved service. Mercedes, it's almost like everybody prefers a brand
Yeah.
to trade with you. You know
It's
what I
also
mean?
it's
Yeah.
basically it's QC's quality control, because if the agent is approved, they should have access to that system, and then for more any other VW dealership, they can verify. And I think it's also control to make sure that look, this car was serviced with someone who knows that they'll fix the car in line with our standards, our parts, our
Yeah.
warranties, so that there's no because people being people, unfortunately, human beings always look for a gap. So if you just say, okay, you're part of an agent, but this gap in the service, I've got this paper with this stamp, they can't stand behind that.
I mean, we probably won't discuss it, but I'm sure there were fake stamps back in the day as well. Right?
Probably.
yeah. anything,
No comment.
Because I think, I mean, part of, and this is just, it's not even about the service, it's more about going digital. If your records are done online by a system, you can trust it more than like the one thing you don't want to buy is to buy a car that's got stamps, but you don't know if those are real. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
seen some of the cars I bought with stamps
Yeah.
that look the same, that have the same freshness. I don't have the English in me to explain this, but they look like they were all stamped in the same day. And then you write with your left hand and you write with your right hand. I swear I've seen
because stamps
on the service
fade,
books.
they fade differently.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
age.
over
So
years, like you can see, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the originality is what you're speaking to, where like there's supposed to be a difference now.
Yeah.
But if you got Tego just like did a same
Just
stamp
stamped it because he used to work at VW.
in VW and happened to have the stamp, and people used to make stamps. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So maybe
Maybe
just
that's
before.
why they made electronic as well, because
Yeah.
just to avoid such things, because it's
Fraudulent behavior.
fraudulent
yes, and
behavior.
close
So
all
if
the-
it's on the system, it's on the system. You can't
Exactly.
really say.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you guys just to, so before we close it off. I mean, we know that South Africa struggles with the concept of saving, generally speaking, and for the most part, it's because of affordability, inequality, etc. The troubles that come with the economy, and I think with the two-pot system coming into the picture, things have sort of normalized. I think the first week was crazy. Everybody was talking about it. You know, but I mean, I saw some interesting facts that I sort of wanted, to get your guys' opinion on, or views, generally speaking. Like, so they said they've withdrawn about 4 billion so far since this thing started on the 1st of September. 4 billion is a lot.
Yeah.
What was interesting, they said the most people that withdraw, like 40%, was the ages between 40 and 50 as the leading withdrawers of that
Jeez.
thing. And then the second one was followed by 30 to 40. Instead of actually young people. And it often made me wonder to say, you would assume someone that's in their 40 to 50, they're doing it for good reasons. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to get your guys', because
Yeah.
this thing is normalized.
Yeah.
Technically, it's your money. You know what I mean?
Because it's actually meant for emergency. Well, it's defined legally as you can withdraw for emergency reasons, right?
Yeah.
But the one train of thought that I heard was that the reason why it's 40 to 50 is because generally if you're between 40 and 50, you have more responsibilities. You have kids in
School
schools,
fees.
Yeah.
you have bonds, etc., etc., etc. So they kind of explained it that way as to a potential reason why. But for me, one thing that I didn't really get is if you are a 45%er, a taxpayer, right?
Jeez, yeah, painful.
Then you live with 16,000.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
If we've drawn 30,000, your net is 16.
It's 16. Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, I didn't explain that. Yeah, so that's where you end up. So I didn't really get what type of emergency
Would be
at 16,000. I don't want to be somewhere, but I don't know if it's the whole concept. I'm just talking about the whole
Yeah.
concept. Like,
Yeah.
if you're getting taxed at the marginal rate, and then now you're getting so little after everything gets taken, and so. And then it's meant for you to go resolve a crisis. Like, I just don't see, I don't think it's really makes a lot of sense to me.
Out of interest, can you withdraw more than 30,000?
No.
That's
30,000 is like
30 a year. You can get 30 a
it's
year.
very small.
Yeah.
That's very small.
You can take 30 a year.
Yeah,
You can't even come and deposit a Vivo. Yeah,
No. People have
inquired.
weird
People been calling in.
two-pot system cash 30,000 rand car.
If they did
60,000.
yeah.
Where you gonna find that?
Yeah.
Unless you go to
Yeah.
Exactly, and then like you're getting something or whatever you're getting, whatever.
Then you're gonna spend more money fixing it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, but then that's money for jam, man. Then then I see why some people would take it to go partying with it, because it's just 16,000. To be honest, like,
The problem is what it does.
Yeah, go on
Go on
holiday.
holiday.
Go on holiday.
Hey, man. Hey, what are we saying here?
it's just 16,000.
Just to be clear, I went on holiday before this thing kicked in on 1 September. I came back on the last day of August, so
It would have helped, ne?
I was gonna use it.
Don't worry, me and Mo weren't implying anything. It was a pure coincidence in terms of timing. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, fantastic. So I mean, I suppose we about 35 in, so this is good. Mo, are you feeling good? You're so scared about this, eh? It's not bad, eh?
Nervous. So nervous. Like,
No, you did well.
My ears are sweating behind. That's how nervous I am.
That time you're a natural.
Yeah, I think more maybe you can, as for my parting shot, you can just maybe shout out and say where you are and all of those things.
We
Where
are
people can come, contact you, etc.
VW Melrose, literally off College Drive, 101 College Drive,
Burnham, yes.
Yes. And then contact details 082. Do I give my cell phone or my landline?
Landline.
011.
Yeah. We'll share
We'll share
all the details, but just to help more, I'm just going to say, yes, this is Hatfield VW Melrose Arch, because sometimes when you search, you get another dealership. I want to make sure you come here, just off Collett Drive by the off-ramp, opposite Melrose Arch by the BP Garage. For those of you who know this dealership, this is
I think
premier.
there's a Lamborghini thing here somewhere, right?
This is the premier. This is the premier VW dealership in Gauteng, in my humble opinion. So if you do have any inquiries, Google them, the landlines there. You can speak to Mo and the rest of the team in terms of inquiries for your sales. And just if you want to know exactly how the process works, what's required. And also, they don't just try to sell you cars, they give you advisory services. So if you come with ridiculous requirements, like you've just got a 2-pot 16 Yana and you want a car, they'll politely tell you, go back to your bank, relook your finances, and for a Vivo or GT, this is what you're looking at. But this is where they're based, and look, we'll definitely make sure we share their social and their pages.
Thank you very much.
But Mo, thank you so much for joining us. Gents, thank you for quick catch-up, quick hits. We will get into Nico's overseas trip next time. He's wearing a Chiefs jersey, so we don't want to jinx
today we're fixing the economy.
We're fixing the economy. It was all positive.
Fixing the economy. I am putting my hand on this one, eh? Finally.
I can see Tsepo shaking his head about that. This Chiefs thing is not going to last long, but...
We'll see.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you to all you viewers at home. Share the podcast. This has been episode 26 of the Business Agenda podcast, recorded live at Hatfield VW and Melrose Arch. Thank you to Mo. Thank you to Gemma, who's not here. Thank you to Mr. Mojaki, a member of our team, who is Tsepo behind the great visuals. My fellow co-hosts, Nico and Final_T's on the boards. Thank you as always. Check out this podcast, available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we will see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Cheers.